Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Rose Code podcast, where we gather to journey through the sacred cycles of life, turning pain into power and wounds into wisdom. I'm Katie, your spiritual guide and mentor, here to support you on your healing and wellness path. Together, we'll explore deep, transformative practices that awaken the divine feminine, helping you reclaim your power and thrive. Every month, we come together for our live moon ritual, celebrating the new and full moon with sacred ceremonies. Be sure to check the details below to join next month's ritual and immerse yourself in yoga, meditation, divine feminine activations, and our vibrant community calls. Let's dive in and transform together.
Beautiful souls, and welcome to this full moon in Taurus, Cacao ritual and ceremony. And this is it's quite an illuminating one. The Taurus full moon is the full moon before Mercury retrograde, the last Mercury retrograde that was set in. So what this time is gifting us is time to prepare for Mercury retrograde. And I'm sure we all know at this point, Mercury retrograde can wreak havoc in our lives, especially if there's already chaos there, that it can illuminate the chaos or add fuel to the fire. So use these next 2 weeks or really 10 days, to be honest, because we're now moving into the shadow phase of Mercury retrograde. So it can really cause disturbance in your communication, whether that's your communication of your voice, contracts, your phones, your laptops, things like that. So make sure that you are double checking, backing up, thinking before you speak, taking a deep breath before you speak, because this will all help soften anything that's up in the air or anything that's moving too quickly. It's your way of safeguarding yourself, because the Taurus energy is all about safety, security, stability, moving slower. And this is why I love this time of year, because it really forces you to slow down. The weather is getting a little bit colder, the days are getting shorter and darker. So it's really only in this short period of time during the day that you can actually get things done. And what is a realistic goal? What is sustainable for you to be like, yeah, this is enough today, and I'm going to spend the rest of the day or the rest of the time resting? Because this is another thing about Mercury retrograde. It's about reviewing, rewinding, resting, recovering, rejuvenation. Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap, and it's not all bad. There is definitely some gifts there, if we prepare for it, if we make space for Mercury retrograde in our life. So Mercury retrograde happens about 3 to 4 times in here, and this is the last one. So yeah, what is up for review in your life? Because with this full moon, it illuminates stuff. It brings to the surface. It heightens our sensitivity, our awareness, our emotions. Everything is brought to the surface. Think about what the full moon does to the oceans, and the water element represents the emotions in our body, in our own ecosystem. So whatever is there will be highlighted and will be brought to the surface. Now, this Taurus full moon is also asking us to look at our external relationships, whether that's romantic or platonic, and also the relationship that we have with ourselves. So if you're expecting somebody to treat you a certain way, you must start treating yourself that way. If you want to be in a loving, devotional relationship, you have to be loving and devotional towards yourself. You can't expect somebody else to fill up your cup. It's just, we have our own cups to fill. So having that responsibility that we need to fill up someone else's cup, it's not sustainable. It's not the way things work. You must fill your own cup, be your own best friend, be your own lover. And in that way, then you will encourage others to treat you the way you are treating yourself. And especially around this time of year, there's this giving, the season of giving. And it's wonderful, be generous, give support, give love, give gifts, but make sure that you're giving to yourself. And I'm not talking about, overconsumption or consumerism or anything like that, but energetically, how much are you filling up your own cup throughout the day? And when we look at that, it's actually shocking because from the time we get up in the morning, we're on our phones. So again, that's a percentage of energy going out. We're looking after the children, or we're making breakfast for the family, or we're jumping on to the laptop to work. That's more energy going out. Throughout the day, you're with colleagues, or you're taking care of somebody or something. Again, energy going out. Then it comes lunch and dinner time. You're preparing that, energy going out. Granted, energy is going back in if you eat it, but how much time are you taking to eat and enjoy the food that you prepared or you bought? So how much of that are you consciously consuming and taking in? Then it comes to the evening, we're back on our phones again, we're watching telly, we're sitting on the sofa. Again, that's energy going out because you are disassociating, you're disconnecting, and then you go to sleep. So, how much of that day in general, on average, are you filling yourself up? So, I had this conversation and this exercise in the Embodying the Sacred Feminine workshop the other night. I was like, if you bookend your day with filling up your cup, or really pouring into yourself, whether that's lighting a candle in the morning and sipping and just drinking your tea, coffee, or cacao and not doing anything else. That's filling up your cup. That's focusing all of your energy on you and whatever it is that you are enjoying in that moment. And then the end of the evening, having a little self-care ritual. Like we all have, well, if all women here probably listen to this, but we all have, these presses and shelves full of these beautiful creams and oils. How much of those are you taking time to put onto yourself, or listening to beautiful music, or having a little dance ritual, or, going to bed a little bit earlier to read your book? Again, that is filling into your cup. So imagine doing that at the start of your day, at the end of your day. Imagine how gorgeous that would feel. Imagine how contained you would feel in this beginning and ending of your day focused on you. So I always say when I'm working with clients, how about you just take 10% back, reserve 10% just for you, 5% in the morning, 5% in the evening. And what happens then when we get a taste of that energy going in, it begins to shrink all of those other places where you're leaking your energy out unnecessarily. Um, yeah, so something to think about, something to ponder on, but something that is going to help prevent you from burning out. Because if you've arrived here listening to this or watching this, you're probably thinking, you're probably feeling, oh my God, it's the end of the year, it's the middle of November, I'm absolutely exhausted, I'm burnt out. But why? Who has burnt you out? And we're all adults here, and we have to start taking responsibility for our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health. So, how can you fulfill those pieces of the pie? So, today I would really love you to zoom out and look at those different aspects of your life and how much energy is going in there. How much are you filling up your cup, and how much are you giving back to yourself? Because I'm sure if you are prioritizing yourself the least, so is everybody else. But if you're bringing yourself up the priority list, I'm sure other people will say, hey, do you need a hand with that? Or hey, do you want me to support you in that? Or people are messaging you or picking up the phone to check in with you to see how you are. So it's really, really important that yeah, we focus our energy back into ourselves and what we need, because nobody else is going to fulfill that cup. So the Taurus energy, again, it's slow, it's steady, and when it's out of balance, it can be really stubborn. So we have to look at whatever areas in our lives where we're not being flexible, or we're being too headstrong. And that's not to say don't put your head down and go for what you want, but sometimes when we are so focused on what we want, we're like, no, this is the only way, I'm only going to do this. So amongst the earth element, it's really important to have some sort of flow, to be open to suggestion, to be open to new opportunities, to zoom out and to see the bigger picture. So that's what we're going to do in our journey today. We're going to journey to the earth element, because that's the element associated with this moon, with the sign of Taurus, and just see what the earth element has to offer. Because it's only when we slow down, tune in, and really ground into the present moment that we're like, okay, this is what I need to do. And then go from there. And then stop and again check in. So along our journey, we're not just sprinting forward. We're taking time to stop, to check in, to make sure that we're going in the right direction, to make sure we're connected to our heart, to make sure that we're feeling good, to make sure that we're refueling, resting, and making time for rejuvenation and reflection. So I have a deeper dive into this on my blog and in the Rose Code community, so make sure that you check that out. But let's see what guidance is here for us in the cards. So today I'm using Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. So just take a moment to tune into your heart. And if you have any burning questions, anything that you need clarity on, close down your eyelids and just connect with that question. And send your energy into the cards. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Okay. Ooh. Yes. Okay, we get more. Okay. So the first card is protection. Call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. So you can see here there's a circle. So when we're thinking of protection, a lot of the time we're only focused on what is in front of us, but we have to make sure we're protecting ourselves in all directions. So left, right, above, below, back, front. And in this way, we are not being so naive, I suppose, because we're looking at the different faces, or we're looking at the different aspects of elements and layers to, this person is saying or acting in this way, but it feels this way. So it's really, really important that you look at the different layers and tune into like, something doesn't feel right. And if it doesn't, step back, protect yourself. Take time to review that relationship or situation, and then make sure that you have sat with it long enough to make that decision. And calling back your power. This is what I'm saying about taking back, some energy for yourself. especially if that tank is going low. Like, you wouldn't allow your phone to die or your car to run out of fuel. So why are you allowing this sacred temple, this body, your energy that is finite? You know, we have loads of energy when we're younger, in our teens and 20s, and then we were like, oh my God, I'm exhausted coming into my 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. That's because you're not refueling your energy. And think about it, like, if you kept spending money in your bank account and in your savings, and you weren't putting money back in, it will go to zero. It will go into the red. So again, treat your energy like currency. How valuable is your energy? It's priceless. So I have a cord cutting meditation as well. So if you want to send me a message, I can send that on to you, because it's a really, really good time to cut those cords as we end this cycle in this lunar phase, to move towards the new beginning for the next new moon. So it's a great time to do that work, and also before we move into Mercury retrograde as well. So the next one then, take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Okay, so it's so funny how the world works, and the busiest time of year in shops, in businesses, you know, and people running around doing crazy stuff, shopping and like getting prepared for Christmas. Energetically and in nature, everything is beginning to slow down. But us as human beings, we're beginning to speed up and race towards the end of the year. So stop, take a break. Christmas is going to come and go. It's one day. Do what you can, get what you need to get, but make sure that you are taking a breath, taking a break, stepping out of the madness, stepping out of the silly season, and be like, am I actually enjoying this? Is this serving me? And a long time ago, you know, I got to the point where I was like, I actually don't like this. So I stopped participating in all of the Christmas parties and just the Christmas celebrations in general. I'm just like, oh, it's for me really about slowing down, taking time, rejuvenating after a long year, resting, and coming into the new year refreshed, focused, clarity, connected, rather than burnt out and overfed and hungover. And again, I'm not saying don't go out and celebrate and enjoy yourself, by all means. But if it's making you feel worse, if it's making you, you know, move into the new year haggard, well then, you know, something needs to change. So take a break. The next card then is the Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So we see here that there's these energies, these beings ascending, and there's also this earth plane, but also this other planet as well. So a lot of women come to me and they're like, you know, I feel like there's more. I feel like I have a purpose, but I don't know what that is. So perhaps they've been, their purpose for up to this point has been a mother, and that will always be their purpose, but they're longing for something more. Or when women retire, they're like, okay, that was that phase of my life. Now what's next? Because what's living without a purpose? It's just really existing. What gets you up out of the bed in the morning? What would you do, what would you do and enjoy it and thrive from it, even if you didn't get paid for it? That's huge. So connecting with your purpose, with your mission, why are you here? What lights you up? It's really, really important. And for so many, this 2025 is going to be big, 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 big. There's going to be a lot of crumbling of belief systems, systems in society. There's going to be big shifts. So when there's big shifts happening externally, you can be sure that those big shifts are happening internally as well. And then finally, Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. So I love, love, love this card. You can see here, it's quite dark. There's a lot of clouds. You can't really see clearly, but there's a path. Okay. The path doesn't look so pleasant, but you still take the path. And what happens is when you walk into the unknown, when you walk through the darkness, look at this light, look at this clear path ascending towards that white light. Amazing. So much beautiful energy there. So much mysticism, magic, opportunity, a lot of gold here representing wealth and abundance and prosperity. Walking above the water means that you have mastered your emotions or you've done the healing work. Yeah, amazing. So like I said, 2025 is going to be a big, big year for people stepping into their power and stepping up and releasing the old stories. That's what I'm receiving now. It's like, what is the old record that you're playing? And again, if that's just because it's familiar that you keep playing it, but it doesn't like you up, change the record, change the tape, change the narrative. And again, only you can do that.
Thank you for listening. If you're looking for more, don't forget to check out the Rose Code community in the description below.